Jordan! Yo.
You will address me as King Friday on this show.
Oh! It's not even Friday, dude. It's Thursday. Tomorrow's
Friday. We don't have one.
We don't have Friday this week. You are correct. You are correct.
Yes. What's going on, brother?
That is true. Hey, okay, breaking. Well, it broke yesterday. It's been sitting out there one day, but I had to get this in front of you as quick as possible because I think this is some of the biggest news I've heard in a really long time. And I think everybody's going to struggle with it for just a moment, but you got to walk through this with me. But I'm sitting on LinkedIn this morning. I won't tell you where I was doing my LinkedIn reading, but I was doing my LinkedIn reading and I stumbled on, should I show it to you? Should we just show you what I saw? Okay, here we go.
If this is something that I've already seen, I'm going to be...
Oh, come on. I would not show... Boom! There it is. Audinate has bought... Okay, so don't give me... Okay, so I get it. Nobody really knows who Iris is. They're the quiet little partner in the background, but you've probably seen Iris's work with other people and the product that they produce. Like, I mean, really and truly, people have probably seen Iris in a big way or been testing with Iris and playing with Iris and seeing what Iris can do, and it's thinking amazing, right? Because the ability to control cameras anywhere and do all kinds of cool stuff is what Iris does. So let's just get into the numbers a little bit because they're kind of important. So this was the official press release. Audinate Limited, developer of Dante. This is important as we start to think about where Dante could be going with this, has bought Iris company, especially AI power. Okay, so Iris offers traditional first production platform that enables users to manage cameras remotely. A lot of the products that we've seen already. They're adding things like encoders, decoders, vision mixers, and more. The acquisition of Iris strengthens Audinate's video platform capabilities. And I think this is important because there is a bunch of Dante cameras out there. I don't think we're seeing the demand on Dante cameras, but how better to do that by giving people a platform to manage their Dante cameras and kind of push that through. So we know that Iris already works with a ton of manufacturers because we've seen it, in the products that are already available. But I think this is the interesting part is like, why? Yeah. Well, if you look at what Dante's doing with their cloud ecosystem in terms of sharing media, I think it's really interesting, but it's sort of, okay, now I've got to have this platform over here for my audio. I got to have this platform over here for my video. I got to have it doesn't really work, I think, long-term for somebody who's building up an ecosystem or somebody who's going to be doing a production to have multiple cloud platforms. If I can do it all in one, like Bridge and some of the other products out there. So this is a killer idea from Dante to say, okay, well, look, there's this great platform out there that manages cameras. Let's put that, and I imagine really quickly we're going to see audio features fall inside of that because they're already playing nice with all the camera manufacturers. All the camera manufacturers that are in here are also the ones that are building Dante into their cameras. So it just sort of makes sense long-term that you'll have a platform that can handle NDI, that can handle Dante, both A and V side of Dante. I just think this is killer. Kudos to the Dante team for making this happen.
Oh, yeah. And this is going to be, out of all of the places I can see this being gigantic, is to get early it's not early now because it's been out for a while, but getting adoption for this in House of Worship. Because if there is one name that churches recognize and respect, it's Dante. Constantly. So I think this will be a really good opportunity for them to be able to get into some of these places that was not originally something that they could reach. This is,
Well, and it's funny because these guys were at NAB this year. They had a really nice booth set up down like South Lower, but it was at the back, I think, where a lot of people wouldn't stumble on them. And so I like this comment here from Noah, the CEO, which is partnering with Audinate gives us a scale, reach, and deep AV expertise to accelerate our roadmap. And I think that's huge because this immediately elevates the Dante video story into a whole bunch of AV dealers and integrators that are already deep in the Audinate world, right? The Dante world. but now they've got sort of a platform to play with. And I dig what these guys do. It is a great platform. It's a great story because this is sort of like, if we want to talk about the evolution of auto tracking, this is probably it, right? Like, I mean, camera manufacturers, some do it well, some don't do it at all. Some are like still thinking about whether they're going to do it. And then some do it kind of okay. So I think this is killer because now you can kind of say like, hey, it doesn't matter. Just plug it through us and we'll do the auto tracking for you, right? And use cloud AI power.
For like any camera that's on there, that's crazy. There's
I mean,
one
look,
auto tracking.
You can see the button right here on the screen, auto tracking. We can see it happening right in real time. And this is really along the lines of, remember that company that QSC bought that we were working with? There was a really cool auto tracking company that was doing on-premise GPU accelerated tracking with, kinematics and all kinds of stuff. I thought that was a really spectacular company. Then QSC bought it and it sort of disappeared, right? And so
do you think that's going to happen here?
I don't think so. I think Audinate needs that piece of the puzzle. I think this is a really integral piece of the puzzle.
No, I'm sorry. I mean, for the other flavors of this, like BirdDog Connect and PTZOptics Hive.
I don't know. I don't see how that would. I mean, it doesn't make sense. That would be like saying, hey, NDI, just because you're owned by VizRT, you're going to lock everybody else out of it. No, we see Ross products. We see their competition in there. It wouldn't make sense, especially when you look at the scale, the number of NDI devices versus the number of Dante devices. And I'm just talking video. The number of NDI-enabled video devices versus the number of NDI or Dante-enabled video devices. What I imagine here, I mean, I couldn't, like, that would be hilarious. I'm sure Iris made out really good because I could not, for the life of me, see why NDI wasn't trying to buy them as well, right? And there wasn't a little bit of a bidding war here, and Audinate had some deeper pockets or something. Like, it just wouldn't make sense to me that NDI wouldn't have tried for these guys. But this is, I think this is big for Audinate. This is really going to help move their video codec forward a little bit. But if nothing else, even if people don't buy the Audinate video cameras, are they going to OEM this platform? I mean, obviously they OEM it already, but are they going to make it available to consumers from Iris, right? Because right now when we say it's like join the beta, sure, but are we going to be seeing a Audinate version of this cloud platform where we just log in, connect our cameras, the whole thing's hosted the way they're doing with some of their audio products already? So I think it's very exciting.
Absolutely, yeah, and like I said again, this pushes it more into okay. Is there a way to be able to, for 99.9% of medium-sized organizations who do not have a gigantic, like you said, Ross, production system or VizRT production system, is there a way to be able to say you have more delineated and accessible control over your devices? I'm talking to a church right now that this is he said, I want to put creativity, like volunteer creativity based on places where it actually makes sense. It's where it can be accessible, where it's a lot of times there will be volunteers that don't necessarily have the training in audio or, to be able to mix on a Sunday, or they don't have the training to be able to as quickly and easily, do camera switching and things like that. If you give them a full production switcher, being able to say, just focus on what you're seeing on the screen. The complication is been taken out of it. Maybe some of the features are not there that you might have in a larger system, but like what you're showing right now is incredible and is available to do in others, but not at this level of ease.
I mean, so I mean, if we take our standard camera controller, like doing smooth movements like that, you're hoping the human doesn't slip, doesn't slide, doesn't, overpress, doesn't, especially a volunteer that's coming in that, maybe doesn't understand the controls as well. You could never get these types of smooth movements. Not only that, think of like a lot of the presets. Most camera manufacturers, their presets are an A to B, right? Where it's like, hey, you're here and I need you to go here. And what is that movement? Right? It's a snap movement typically. Yes, we're starting to see some ramp in and ramp out features in some of the controllers.
And stuff.
And tracing, but tracing's only in the higher end ones. And it's hard to set up and configure. Plus they're sort of locked in. Dude, this is so much smoother and faster. And let's think about the next generation of operators. they're typically people on Xbox controllers or they're iPad people, right? Like the next generation of users are people that have grown up swiping, right?
They're
And
100%
doing this.
iPad at this church right now.
Yeah. So, I mean, this
100%.
just kind of falls in line with that type of user where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is much easier to put a touchscreen on the iPad or the laptop they're using. It already has an iPad touchscreen, but like, you know, we laughed about this yesterday, Macs not having touchscreen, like PCs, like I got
Oh, yeah.
touchscreen. I can do that all day long. It just makes sense. So I just think like the movements that you can get with these, and again, you can sort of, I mean, in our testing with this, you can do this with any camera.
Yeah.
You can take a camera that doesn't support tracing and give it this traceability and kind of do these types of movements. All right, in the end, this is exciting news. This is big for Audinate. This is big for Iris, and I think for the other companies that are using the Iris platform at this point. So, I mean, this is good stuff. This is great for the industry overall. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. So, I mean, it's not breaking news by the time you're watching this, but it was when I found out. And I think this is probably one of the more exciting things I've seen all day. So dive in on it, people. Enjoy this info and enjoy the video. Thanks for watching.